So at this time, I'm going to pass it over to Adam Fishman, class of 2011, to speak a little bit about the work he does at Onora to put systems in place for communities that contribute to their self-sustainability.
Thanks so much, Stephen. Wow, that's really cool what you guys are doing. And yeah, I'll get into it, but continue to be amazed by what Lawrenceville is doing here in this space. So what I wanted to focus on today is how a group of high school students completely changed the way I view problem solving and innovation. And so for context, after Lawrenceville, I went to Dartmouth and then started a career in strategy consulting and market research. And I now run an innovation lab focused on social and environmental impact. And part of our lab helps high school students address climate anxiety and create impact projects in their community. And so that's why I'm here today, is to share with you how they completely flipped my world upside down and reframe the way that I now approach trying to make things better. And in particular, how they opened my eyes to how gratitude of all things can be the key to solving some of our most complex social and ecological issues. And so my hope is that for anyone listening to this, there's a lot of different problems we might feel passionate about addressing, whether that's in our community or our companies or our homes or at Lawrenceville. And the lessons, my hope is that the lessons imparted from these students can help us all think a little differently about how we approach problem solving and trying to make things better. And so here's what happened. So we were helping students come up with ideas for a project in their community, and we were approaching it with a typical problem solving model. And so to list out all the problems that you see, and then we'd brainstorm ideas to solve these, and that would be our entry point to picking a project. But a total blessing in disguise ended up happening. When I asked the students to list out environmental problems in their community, not a single student could identify any issues, nothing. So despite their macro anxieties about the state of the planet, and when looking into their backyard, nothing jumped out to them as bad or broken to be fixed. And this surprised me, to say the least, but didn't feel right to just ask them to go dig harder for things to get pissed off about, or go looking for fights, basically, or just look for holes in things, because then that's all they'd see, and everything was just full of holes and never good enough. And that wasn't a mindset that we wanted to perpetuate. So at first I was stumped on how to move forward with this, but then I decided to fall back on our lab's guiding principle, which is asking what would happen if we led with love instead of fear. I know maybe that might sound a little fluffy, but that's our core principle. And we decided to take a dose of our own medicine and try to find a way forward with that. And so we asked ourselves, what would happen if we focus on what's great about what currently exists rather than looking for problems? So no problems, just what we love and appreciate about what exists today. And that meant looking at what exists at their school and asking the students to reflect on the fact that their school has food, heat in the winter, green spaces, lights, the stuff that we usually take for granted, but are core systems that make up our experience at school. And we continue to operate from that beginner's mindset and be curious. And so we wondered, who could we talk to in order to continue this journey of how to make things better while leading with love? We thought, what if we connected with the people actually doing the work to make all this goodness possible? What if we thanked them and asked them questions? What if we asked them what they wished was better? And so after all, they're the experts. They're the ones that know what it actually takes to maintain a clean, lush campus, what it takes to source food for an entire school and make sure the produce isn't spoiling. And on top of that, any changes that do get made are going to directly impact their lives too. It's going to directly impact their workflow, their experience at work, and by extension, how they feel when they go home at the end of the day. Suffice to say, this reframing changed everything for us. And we've been working on putting theory into practice ever since, with students, with employees and citizens. And so we're calling this gratitude-based learning and innovation. And what we're realizing is that systems change really does start with a thank you. So instead of looking for problems, we pause to reflect on the positive and seek to learn from those who actually do the work today to make that goodness possible, and to build on the positive and to co-create that shared future together. So truly a grounded, bottom-up approach to problem solving and innovation. And I wanted to just extend a huge thank you to Stephen Lawrenceville actually, because when I was at Lawrenceville, environment and sustainability was admittedly not something I thought about or cared about whatsoever. Like, it just was not my thing. My climate wake-up call happened later. And it's just been really amazing to reconnect with Lawrenceville through that lens and see Lawrenceville is just the amount of amazing things that Lawrenceville is doing just blows my mind, and really are a model for other institutions to follow. So just thank you for having me and for being the leaders you are. And also everyone that So on this panel, everyone that showed up, like just there's something that spoke to you that said, hey, I'm going to show up, do what I'm doing. I'm going to be here and be curious. So just, yeah, thanks for being you and being here.